obedience to God's commandments. A central lesson in Numbers is the importance of obedience to God's instructions. Time and again, the Israelites are given explicit commands from God, often through Moses, and their adherence or failure to follow these commands leads to blessings or dire consequences. The book begins with a census of the tribes of Israel, emphasizing order and organization under God's guidance. The Israelites are instructed on how to set up camp, march in Pacific formation, symbolizing that divine instruction governs all aspects of life. Obedience brings order and alignment with God's purpose. When individuals and commands follow God's plans, they experience harmony and direction. Not to mention the fact that the shape of the Israelites' camp is in the shape of a cross. In contrast, the rebellion of Korah in Numbers chapter 16. The Korah, Dathan, and Abiram rebel against Moses and Aaron, challenging their leadership. This rebellion is met with severe consequences as the earth swallows the dissenters. Obedience to divine authority leads to chaos and judgment. Respect for God's appointed leadership is crucial for communal peace. Faith and trust in God. The journey through the wilderness serves as a metaphor for the faith journey of believers. The Israelites' experience revealed the tension between trusting God's provision and human tendency towards doubt and fear. 12 spies are sent to explore Canaan, while Caleb and Joshua bring back faith-filled reports. The other 10 incite fear among the people, leading to a collective rebellion against entering the Promised Land. God commands that generation to wander the wilderness for 40 years. Faith in God's promise is essential even in the face of daunting challenges. Fear and unbelief can rob individuals of blessings. Despite their complaints about the monotony of manna, God provides quail for the Israelites. This event highlights God's patience and provision, but also serves as a reminder of the dangers of ingratitude. Trust in God's provisions fosters commitment, while ingratitude breeds dissatisfaction and consequences. Numbers portrays God as both just and merciful. His judgments are severe, but tempered by his enduring love and commitment to his covenant with Israel. In Numbers chapter 12, Miriam and Aaron criticized Moses for marrying a Cushite wife who happens to be an African with dark skin, questioning his unique role as God's prophet. As punishment, Miriam is struck with leprosy. However, after Moses intercedes, God heals her. God is just and disciplines wrongdoers, but also merciful and responsive to intercession. This underscores the power of prayer and the importance of humility. The bronze serpent. In Numbers chapter 21, verses 4 through 9, when the Israelites complain and are punished with venomous snakes, God provides a way of salvation through the bronze serpent. Those who look at it in faith are healed. Jesus also speaks of the bronze serpent, saying, "He, Jesus, must be lifted up, and that all who look on him will be saved." John chapter 3, verses 13 to 14. God's justice demands consequences for sin, but his mercy provides a path to redemption. Faith and obedience are the means of accessing his grace. Leadership is a recurring theme in Numbers, with Moses serving as the central figure. The book explores the challenges of leadership, including opposition, frustration, and the burden of responsibility. When the people complain about the lack of water, God instructs Moses to speak to a rock to bring forth water. In anger, Moses strikes the rock instead, disobeying God's command. As a result, Moses denied entry into the Promised Land. This rock also symbolized the crucifixion of Christ, particularly his being stabbed by a spear and water and blood flowing out. Sacrifice and blood bringing redemption. Leaders are held in high standards of accountability. Emotions like anger must be tempered with disobedience and humility. Moses, overwhelmed by the demands of leadership, is instructed by God to appoint 70 elders to share the burden. This delegation highlights the importance of collaborative leadership in Numbers chapter 11, verses 16 to 30. Effective leadership involves recognizing limitations and empowering others to share responsibilities. Complaining and rebellion are recurring issues in Numbers, demonstrating the consequences of ingratitude and defiance against God's plans. From manna to water to leadership, the Israelites frequently complain, revealing their lack of faith and trust. These complaints often result in God's judgment. Complaining reflects a lack of gratitude and faith, leading to spiritual and physical consequences. A spirit of thankfulness aligns with God's will. Contrast Balaam's blessing, Numbers chapter 22 to 24. Even when others sought to curse Israel, God turned it into blessing through Balaam. This demonstrates that God's purpose prevails despite human rebellion. God's sovereignty ensures his plans are fulfilled even amid human resistance. But resistance can take place more seductively. Balaam then suggests that the kings give the people's daughters to the Israelites to tempt them into turning from God to their pagan gods and not destroying them. Another character appears again in the story of Balaam, the angel of the Lord, who Moses sees in the burning bush and leads the Israelites out of Egypt. Exodus chapter 3 verses 2 and 4. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from the bush. Moses saw that through the bush was yet on fire, did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn. The Lord saw that he had gone over to look. God called from him within the bush, Moses, Moses. Moses said, Here I am. As you see, God appears in the burning bush, the Lord appears in the burning bush, and the angel of the Lord appears in the burning bush. Exodus chapter 14 verses 19 to 31. Then the angel of the Lord, who had been traveling in front of Israel's army, withdrew and went behind them. The pillar of cloud also moved from in front and stood behind them, 20 coming between the armies of Egypt and Israel. Throughout the night, the cloud brought darkness to one side and light to the other side, so neither went near the other all night long. Holiness and purity. The laws and rituals and numbers emphasize the importance of holiness and purity in the lives of God's people. These laws serve both practical and spiritual purposes. The Nazirite vow is a voluntary commitment to holiness, involving abstinence from wine, avoiding contact with the dead, and not cutting hair. This vow symbolizes total dedication to God. Holiness requires intentional separation from worldly influences. Dedication to God involves both external actions and internal commitment. Other Nazirites in the Bible include John the Baptist and Samson from the book of Judges. Also, St. Paul takes a short Nazirite vow. The law surrounding purification, such as using the ashes of a red heifer, illustrates the importance of maintaining spiritual cleanliness. Spiritual purity requires vigilance and continual renewal. God provides the means for cleansing and restoration. The importance of community. Numbers emphasize the collective identity of Israel as God's chosen people. Their success and failure are often portrayed as communal rather than individual. The Israelites are instructed to camp and march in the Pacific formation around the tabernacle, symbolizing God's centrality in their lives. Community thrives when God is at the center. Order and unity are essential for collective well-being. The sin of Achan. Joshua chapter 7. Although not directly in Numbers, the corporate consequences of individual sin are a recurring biblical theme. The actions of one person can impact the entire community. Accountability and communal responsibility are vital. Despite the Israelites' repeated failure, God remains faithful to his covenant, guiding them through the wilderness and preparing them for the promised land. The cloud by day and the fire by night symbolizes God's constant presence with his people, guiding them throughout their journey. God's faithfulness is unwavering, providing guidance and protection even when his people falter. The next generation, Numbers chapter 26, after the first journey fails to enter the promised land, God raised up a new generation to fulfill his promise. God's promises endure beyond human failures. His plans are accomplished throughout successive generations. The book of Numbers offers timeless lessons that resonate with modern believers. Its narratives, laws, and instructions reveal the complexities of faith, the necessity of obedience, costs of rebellion, and the depth of God's justice and mercy. Through the Israelites' journey, readers are reminded of the importance of trust, humility, gratitude, and perseverance in their own spiritual journeys. In sum, Numbers teaches that while human frailty often leads to failure, God's grace and faithfulness remains constant. It calls believers to align their lives with his will, trust in his provision, and strive for holiness as they journey towards their own promised land.